Got low back pain? Well, I'm going to show you some simple core exercises to help prevent and reduce it. Cool Bear says, let's go.
Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert.
Oh, hey! Before we get started, I want to thank Zillion for sponsoring this video. They're the makers of the ZMA 33, which is the shiatsu seat massager cushion pad. If you're interested in purchasing it or checking out any of their other products, click on the link up there or in the description below. So for these 4 simple core exercises, don't forget the core is just not the front. The core is all the way around your torso area. So we're going to start off with a super simple movement, and then I'm going to show you a progression to make it a little harder. We're going to lie down first, and if you've seen any of my back videos, you know one of my favorite exercises is a pelvic tilt. Looks really easy, but it's very effective. So with the pelvic tilt, when you're lying down, or the posterior pelvic tilt, what you're trying to do is basically flattening out your back, but you're not using your legs to push. So I'm not pushing it down. I'm rotating my pelvis to flatten out that back. So you can see I'm not holding my breath and pushing. It should be a comfortable, easy movement. I'm flattening everything out, but you should be able to see a little bit of that tilt or that rotation in the hip. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to tilt everything back, but I'm using those core muscles to get that pelvic tilt. Once I get into the pelvic tilt, just holding it maybe 3 to 5 seconds and then relaxing. So that's the pelvic tilt. That's kind of the beginner or starting point of the exercise. So you want to make sure you get this pelvic tilt down, you get it comfortable. Again, remember, I'm not pushing with my legs to get myself down. I'm rotating here. So I should almost be able to kind of move my legs around while I'm doing it because I'm not pushing with those legs. So once I get that posterior pelvic tilt down, then I'm going to add it into what we call a dead bug. So the dead bug is almost, just think about, you know, if you see a bug on its back kind of moving its legs. So you're going to start with the pelvic tilt, get into that pelvic tilt, and then you're going to just bring up one leg a little bit and then lift your opposite arm with it. So I'm just coming up. I don't have to take my arm all the way back. I don't have to lift my leg all the way up, but I'm trying to keep that pelvic tilt the whole time. So if you don't feel like you can keep that tilt the whole time while you're doing this movement, you're probably not quite ready for that progression. So again, going into that pelvic tilt, lifting up, coming back down. If I can keep it holding the whole time, go right into the next one. If not, you can stop and reset the whole time. But again, while you're doing the movement, you want to be able to keep that pelvic tilt the whole time. So then the next one is just going to be another one of my favorites for the back and core strength is a bridge. So with the bridge, you might have heard me say this, you want to roll your body up. So it's not just coming up and down a bridge like that, because then you're just using momentum and you're not really using your glutes and your hamstrings to lift. So you're really almost rolling up, getting into a straight line. So you're not going into extension with your back. So this is not an extension exercise. And then you're just gently rolling back down. Feet and knees are about hip width apart. So again, just rolling up, about into a straight line, and then rolling back down. So it's kind of that progression of the pelvic tilt. Now you are lifting up using your glutes and your hamstrings. One more time, rolling up with that bridge and then rolling back down. So the progression of the bridge, if you can get that down and it's pretty easy, you get to 20, 25, it's no problem, then you can go into a single leg bridge. So now I'm just going to kind of lift one leg up, and now I'm doing a bridge with one leg. It's still the same thing. I'm not just pushing myself up. I'm rolling that body up and then slowly rolling back down. The key is here, if my hip on this side starts dropping, so like if I'm doing this, or either the other way, if I feel like my hip is dropping while I'm doing it, then I'm probably not ready for that progression. Your hip should stay in alignment when you come up, and then be able to nice and slowly come down. So even if you can do just maybe 2 or 3 on one side and then switch, or if you want to switch each time, you can do that as well. But eventually you want to be able to do, you know, up to 10 continuously on one side. So then the next one is going to be a clamshell. Another one of my favorites. These are all super simple, but they're great exercises for the core in general, to help the back get stronger, to prevent the back pain, or even reduce it if you have it. So with a clamshell, make sure you're comfortable. If you want to lie your head all the way down, you can. I'm just kind of propping up so I can see you better, you can see me better. The key with the clamshell is you want your hips to be perpendicular to what you're lying on, the couch, the bed, or if you're doing these on the floor. You don't want to roll your hips back. You don't want to roll them forward. You want to kind of keep them in this position the whole time. So a lot of times I'll say, place your hand on your hip so you'll know if it's moving or not. So with the normal clamshell, bring your knees up a little bit. Some people like to keep them in alignment. Some people like to keep the back feet, the hips, and your shoulders in alignment. That's fine, just really what's more comfortable for you. Knees are stacked on top of each other, the feet are stacked up on each other, and the feet stay together. So it doesn't have to be a big lift. The top leg is moving upward. So you're just gonna lift up this way. But again, I'm not coming all the way up where I have to roll back, because that takes away from the exercise. You want to keep this here so you don't have to lift it up super high and then nice and slow back down. Now, a lot of times with the clamshells, people start doing these and they're like, I don't know, this feels pretty easy. And then you get to 6 and 7, you're like, okay, now I can feel it right there. That's where I feel it. And that's where you're supposed to be feeling that gluteus medius muscle. So again, if you're doing these and you can get to 20, 25, 30 super easy, then you can progress it. And so one of the progressions of the clamshell is now this time lift your feet up in the air. So see, my knees are still down, but now I have to hold my feet up. But it's the exact same motion. So now I'm getting a wider motion, and I have to use my core to keep my feet up. So I'm opening up, but I'm still keeping those hips perpendicular to what I'm lying down on. And then nice and slow, going up and down. If you need to reset each time and bring them down, that's okay. But eventually you want to be able to keep the feet up the whole time. And I'm feeling it in my core here too when I lift the feet. So not even just here, but I'm feeling it in my core as well. So now you're going to roll over into all fours or quadruped. So make sure that your shoulders and your hands are kind of in alignment with each other so you don't end up injuring your shoulder while you're doing this. Try and keep your back nice and flat. You don't want to roll. You want to try and keep everything in a kind of a neutral position. And then you're just going to kick your leg back into a leg extension. So I'm just kicking back, but I'm not lifting and rolling. I'm just trying to keep my back as nice and straight as I can, and then alternate sides, kicking back that way. So same thing, if you can do these and you're pretty comfortable and not having too much of a difficult time doing it. And just to let you know, this is a little tougher on a squishier surface like a couch or a bed. Sometimes these are a little bit easier on the floor if you can get on the floor. But if those become easy, then you can progress it into a bird dog. And so just the bird dog is kind of like it sounds if you've ever seen a dog pointing for a bird. So when you kick out, now you're going to lift your opposite arm. So I'm kicking and lifting, still trying to keep that back as straight as I can, trying not to roll those hips, and then just alternating back and forth. So there you have it. Those were 4 simple progression exercises to help reduce and prevent low back pain. Thanks again to Zillion for sponsoring this video. If you're interested in purchasing the ZMA 33, click on the link up there or in the link in the description below. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.